On today's episode of the Real Recovery Podcast, episode number 114, we welcome Deena Feldes, Executive Director of Transcending Hope. She fought a 9.5-year legal battle to get her kids back, dead sober every step of it. Wait until you hear what stopped her on an overpass after a DHS visit, and what one stranger on a TriMet bus said that changed everything. This is episode 114, and it starts right now.
Hello, and welcome to the Real Recovery Podcast. I'm Julie, your co-host. On this journey of healing and transformation, together with my co-host Peter, we dive into the heart of recovery, sharing stories that resonate with courage and inspiration.
That's right, Julie. Each episode is a new chapter in this vast narrative of recovery, and we're honored to bring them to you. But keep in mind, the perspectives you'll hear are for informational purposes only and may not reflect the views of the podcast or our partners.
Indeed, while these conversations can be a powerful part of your recovery toolkit, they are not substitute for professional medical advice. We encourage you to seek guidance from your healthcare provider for any treatment-related decisions.
And if you're facing an immediate crisis, or if you just need to talk to someone who understands, don't hesitate to call the Recovery Crisis Line at 503-223-8569. That number is also on our website. Help is available 24/7.
Now let's begin our episode
Of recovery, real recovery.
Hey, this is Julie from the Real Recovery Podcast,
And this is Peter.
and we're with Deena Feldes, right? Did I say it right?
As Izzy would say, Deena Feldes.
Yeah.
Feldes.
You told me I didn't say it right. That was the other thing. And so then I was like paranoid to say it. And
It's Feldes, but I'm proud of my culture, my background. I'm a biracial Latina woman. So
I love that.
when my name changed to Feldes, which is a German name, by the way,
Oh, wow.
we put the little Feldes on there.
Peter's
love it.
German.
Yeah.
That part of my mom's side, she's, what do they call that when you're born in Germany and came over? Is that
First generation.
first generation? Yeah,
Yeah.
she's first generation.
I'm third
German.
generation.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that.
And you're the executive director of Transcending Hope,
I'm
correct?
the executive
Okay.
director of
I just wanted to get
Transcending
that
Hope.
off the top on the front. So,
I love it. I follow you in a lot of places. I was trying to make it to the bowling.
We had so much fun.
So
What was
my
that?
hairdresser is a mile from there.
Oh,
And I was getting highlights that day, and it was very important because I'm older and I need highlights, but I didn't get out in time. But I was close and I was trying.
what's the bowling? I don't know what that
okay.
is.
The bowling, we hold a couple of community events free to the community and community partners to come and enjoy themselves. And we rent out part of the bowling alley, and
wow.
it's for up to 150, 200 people, and they bowl for 3 hours. We do a raffle and feed them. And this year we decided to do it on the west side. And I hadn't slept all night. I brought my sister and brother-in-law over here in May of 2025, both of them late stage alcoholics. And my sister passed away in July, and we were
Mhm.
taking care of my brother-in-law. He's hospice, and he
Oh.
passed away on the 22nd of March.
Oh.
And we
So sorry.
Yeah.
so he died a day or two later after the bowling event.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But the bowling event, it attracts anyone and everyone can come and enjoy themselves while they're there.
I think I shared it on our website.
Yeah.
We try to share cool things that are going on. You, Pathfinders 4D.
Yeah.
We don't really care who you are, but if you're having something cool in
Yeah.
recovery, we share it.
Yeah, of course.
I will have to go to I love to bowl. I don't know how good I am now because it's been a while. And I think the last time I bowled, I was still drinking. So, that probably went the lane over there and the lane over there. I
Yeah,
don't
turn
know.
yourself at the ball or something.
Yeah. I've got a lot of over the line.
He needs the railings.
Yeah. I need those bumpers. I need the bumpers up.
Yeah.
So welcome.
Thank
I know
you.
you have a great story. I can't wait for our listeners to hear it. Like I said before, we share real stories in recovery. We have I don't know, we're getting kind of popular because we're having a lot of people that we don't want to share their story reach out from have a book. Okay. Good for you. Did it. I'm from New York. Okay.
Yeah, we're not here to promote. We're here to share heartfelt, inspirational
Now, mind you, Austin
stories.
is the exception. That's our guy. But
if you have something, sure, mention it. Let's get it out there. But that's the point of this is not that. It's to show others out there the miracle.
So now we're getting
we're getting solicited all the time. And my favorite thing is Peter owns a media company.
Oh.
MediaCorp. And Peter does our website, our podcast. He's a technical genius. The coffee. Though I'm just telling you. Peter's
I'm a geek, okay? Just put it out there.
Yeah,
a geek.
I'm not a geek. And people will solicit us for the website and can help you. And I'm like, Peter can do that. What are you thinking? Yeah. So he does Izzy's website.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on.
So anyway, back to you. Let's get to you. I'm so excited, Jared. I'm so excited you took time.
Have tangents up the, We
do it all the time.
Yeah.
Last night it was about relationships. I'm just saying. Yeah.
I think I heard a little bit of it.
I love it.
Yeah. So do you want me to share?
I do. I want to hear your story because I know we have some common bonds.
Okay. Like a lot of people, I guess, many of us, I grew up in an alcoholic home. Alcoholic home. I grew up with a single mom and a half brother and a half sister. They were much older than me. And so I had easy access to things. And mom was working in restaurants all the time. So she was gone a lot. My childhood was kind of like a free willy. I was able to do whatever I wanted. And my older sister, who just passed away, she smoked marijuana and she would leave her marijuana around the house and I would sneak it out. This is elementary school stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. And I would steal it and I would take it to elementary school. And I was like the instigator and I would gather and go to the backstop. And that was the beginnings.
You were cool. Yeah. You had the stash.
Oh my God.
So the backstop was like a place in the school?
The backstop where you play softball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we had a gravel parking lot that we all went to. That was behind the bleachers.
There was actually a smoking section. In my high
back
school,
in the day.
In my high school, there was a smoking section and it was like, I was never going to be in the smoking section. Yeah.
Yeah. It reminds me of my mom because she worked in the restaurants and was a bartender.
Mine too.
Yeah. She would have a purse full of tips, full of cash, full of change. And I would scoop it all up and go to the donut shop with that marijuana, get some donuts and go with the kids. And there we were.
That's funny because I need to confess right now. My mom had a purse like this big. It was leather and it was the only one, hand designed. And my mother was a bartender too. And she was gone every night. I was at a nanny's for a long time, so I didn't have that freedom. Yeah. I had structure, which is why I went batshit crazy when I didn't. But there was cupboards and there was the space between the cupboard and the thing. So I would take $2 or $3 out of her purse and I would throw it up on the cupboard because you couldn't see it. No. So finally, I don't know how much longer, right? I go up there and I have $200.
Oh my God.
And this is back in what year?
So I was born in 65. So this is 75. Yeah. And so I brought it home to my nannies at the babysitters, my nanas. And she was like, where did you get this money? I was like, I earned it. and she said,
you did.
I did. And I said, I did do chores all the time. And I said, I earned it. And so she took me clothes shopping.
Oh, my goodness. And that brings me to the convenience store on the corner. We had this little convenience store and I would go in there all the time. I lived in a trailer. It was like a trailer park. So there was a trailer park called Flamingo Trailer Park over in Pasco, Washington. And I was right across the way in a double wide trailer. And then there was a convenience store on the corner. And the fellow who ran it, his name was Cotton. And I would interact with his grandchildren and stuff. We knew each other. But I would go, my mom had these big coats that she would wear. And I don't know why I would do this. I don't even know why I'm sharing this, but
We love it.
I would take my shirt off and I'd put her jacket on and I'd go over to that little convenience store and I would steal bottles of wine. And the kids would come over and we would play tabs with the bottles of wine. Now, one time I'd also steal cigarettes. Back then you could write a note.
My mother wrote a note. She
You could
smoked
write a-
Benson and Hedges menthol 100s, which is a
Yeah.
lot to say than Marlboro, right? Or
Yeah.
and she'd write me a note. Can you please sell Julie? And she'd leave her name and her phone number.
Yeah, Virginia Slims is what my mom used to smoke. And so I'd sometimes write my own notes and get my own cigarettes, or I'd steal them. And one time he caught me. He caught me and he grabbed me and he wanted to check my pockets. And I was scared. And I ran out of the store. I ran home. I got on the phone, called my mom. I said, look, I had personal feminine items in my pockets. I couldn't let him check my pockets. He called me back to the store and gave me a bunch of candy bars.
Oh, wow.
So you got rewarded for all that stolen money
You got
that
rewarded
you had.
too.
And I got rewarded too. That's where I learned manipulation.
And I have to tell
Yeah.
you, she paid me for everything because she had that fast cash
Yeah.
on the weekends. I only seen her on the weekends.
Yeah.
I literally was in another state from 6 months to 11.
Yeah.
And because she worked nights, and I went to a Catholic school that she paid for by herself, but she would sleep all day.
Yeah.
And I would have to wake her up with a cloth
Yeah.
because she was drinking
Yeah.
after the bar closed. I didn't know.
Yeah.
But she would be like, do the laundry, take out the trash. And so she would pay me in all these ones. But I was like, this list of chores. So I just felt like I deserved a little more money.
Yeah.
And it almost was like a game, like a sneaky game.
Yeah.
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 Stealing cigarettes, did they have them just out where you could,
They were right on the edge behind the counter
There was
where
shelves. They weren't
accessible.
locked
where you
up.
could get?
They were not
like
locked
today.
up.
Yeah.
No way. There was, I think, even a spinner thing full of cigarettes.
Buying cigarettes back then, first of all, they were $1 something a
Yeah.
pack. I could get my mom 4 packs for $5.
Yeah.
They'd sell them to anyone. There
Yeah.
wasn't all those rules there is
Wow.
now. And everybody smoked then.
Yeah.
Like all these warning things weren't out yet.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody in my family, except for my Aunt Patty, who's 86 and alive and doesn't drink, everybody smoked. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Easily accessible.
That's crazy. Yeah.
A lot of similarities.
I did the opposite. I just want you to know I was tired of her smoking in the car. It really bothered me. I'd always tell her, put your cigarette in your other hand and open the window. It would have asthma and it could bother me. And I would tell her that. And so I thought I was doing her a favor. And I took her cigarettes and I crushed them all up and I flushed them down the toilet.
Oh,
no.
boy.
Yeah. She whooped my
yeah.
ass.
Oh, yeah.
And I never touched her cigarettes
Yeah.
again. Matter of fact, she's dying of lung cancer. She has
Oh.
3 days to live and she's like, get my cigarettes. And I'm like, okay.
Oh.
Yeah. I never argued with her again about it.
Oh.
Ever.
My mom didn't really discipline me much. I think she felt bad or something. I would get caught shoplifting at stores and she would give me more money for allowance to try to keep me from doing that. My mom was one of us. She suffered from alcoholism and she died when I was 6 months sober. So she died a little over almost 23 years ago. So it was very early on. She was 59 years old when she passed.
My mom died at 68.
Yeah.
And this is the 21st year.
Yeah. Yeah. Childhood was interesting being a free willy. And I got to do a lot of adventures. We would do things like roll mom's car out of the driveway and take it for drives. And I let one of my friends drive and she totaled the car one night. So we all had community service. Yeah, I did community service in a graveyard. Like that was going to deter me.
Oh my God.
Party in the graveyard.
Yeah. Yeah, it was an interesting childhood. And I think by the age of 15, I ended up pregnant with my first child. And that kind of changed the trajectory of my life. And I ended up in an alternative school, which was really fun because At the alternative school, we found out that our principal had went to treatment, and we would all hop in our cars at lunchtime and head for the park, and we'd all get shit-faced and go get frozen yogurt and come back. I don't really remember what I was doing there. But I was in an alternative school, and then I ended up having my first child 2 weeks before my 16th birthday, which really changed everything. It changed my friends. It changed the things I would do. And it was like, I didn't think of it as I needed something to love, but a ticket out of my house. Unfortunately, it was not that I knew it was going to be, but back then I accessed welfare, and I got my first apartment when I was 16 years old. So that's really where I started having some party time.
And can I tell you?
Yeah.
We were talking about this last night. I went to college at 17.
Wow.
Never having a drink.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and being in structure.
Yeah.
No woman should be on their own at 16 and 17.
No.
I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you.
No.
It shouldn't happen.
I can't
No.
imagine what I would have been up to at 16 with my own apartment.
Right.
Oh my God.
I had some fun times. I had some fun times before it got,
Me too.
really different. But I would go to parties. I started blackout drinking really early. From 16 on, I had blackout drinking episodes, and I would go to kegers and things like that. And I would get in the car and drive home, but I didn't know how I got there. I wasn't sure if I hit anything. I wasn't sure.
Wow.
I wasn't sure what was happening. And it didn't.
That's young.
Yeah, it was very young. It didn't take long for me to lose that apartment. We would have parties. People would come over and play poker. They would put their titles of their cars on the. I was hanging out with some kind of interesting people, to say the least. Yeah.
Characters,
Characters. Yeah. And then, so I didn't grow up with a father. So somewhere along the line, I think I was 17 years old. All of a sudden, this fella pops up, and it was my dad that I had never met. So I got to meet my dad, and I dropped out of school, and he took me around up to Wenatchee and Sacramento, and then over to Utah to meet family members that I had never met. And I thought this was like the best thing. It was like a miracle. And him and my mom got back together after all those years.
Did you feel like it was something you were missing?
Yeah. I was always looking for my father everywhere. My father was my Latino heritage, my Latin culture. So I was drawn to the Latin community, and I learned how to speak Spanish. I learned, he shows up, he doesn't even know how to speak Spanish. He's a second generation Latino man, but doesn't know how to speak Spanish. Anyways, him and my mom got back together, and it was just like this whole fairy tale. You have your parents now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And she moved to Ogden, Utah. And I had started drinking and getting into drugs a little bit by then. And I was about to lose an apartment once again. So I called them, and they came. It was in the dead of winter. They came with the U-Haul, packed me up, and took me to Ogden, Utah. And I lived with them there. And that's where I got the great adventure of learning how to smoke crack.
Oh, dang.
In Utah.
In Utah.
Mormon capital.
They even had crack in Utah.
Oh, yeah. Ogden, Utah. It was great. It was fun. I came to find out, staying with my mom and dad, that he was an alcoholic too. He was a binge drinker, and he would drink and then get pretty violent with her. So it was just like the fairy tale was over. And I ended up getting my own place over there and tried to enroll in school. But like I said, I learned how to smoke crack in Ogden, Utah, where the Mormons live.
You're killing me. In Utah, I watched that show, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And I do. I love trash TV, right? I don't like 48 Hours or anything with murder, rape, right? Like I just don't do it. So I watch the dumbest TV shows, like for real, like Love is Blind and stuff is, I really do. But the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, after watching that, I'm like, these bitches are fucked up in Utah. And then I'm like, they're just hoes in Utah, right?
I have to agree. I remember when I worked for Fred Meyer, I did store openings all around the Northwest. And aside from Alaska, Utah was one of the partiest. I mean, you could party the hardest in that
crazy.
state.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun there. I met another. So by now, my son's going on 2, I think. And I met another fella, and then he got this wild idea that we should move to California. So we ended up moving to Oakland first.
Utah to Oakland, California.
Yeah.
You're killing me.
And in Oakland, me and his name was Pepe. Oh, I wonder if he's still around.
And
His
there's
name was-
gangs in Oakland.
we lived in this building, and I'd never lived in a place like this before, but we lived in a building we're in a room. There was no kitchen, it was a room, like a space, like a 10 by 12 space. And it was me, his father, my son, and there was a community bathroom. So everyone, would have to lock the doors to make sure no one was coming in. And that's where I lived in Oakland, California for a little bit.
You're killing me because I wouldn't share. Like in prison, sharing the showers was like the most disgusting thing ever.
This was a little worse than that. I've been to prison.
Yeah.
So this was like a little, this
Ew.
was a little worse than that.
What you put up with when you're under your
what
addiction.
you're willing, when they talk about incomprehensible demoralization, and it gets worse. It doesn't just stay there. It gets worse. And I didn't see anything wrong with it.
Which is crazy, right? Yeah.
Yes. I didn't think, why do I have my son in this space? But we ended up getting a 2-bedroom apartment finally over in Hayward, California. So we moved from Oakland to Hayward. But his father was a heroin addict, and he started using again. So things started unraveling. And me and Pepe ended up going back to the Tri-Cities. I'm originally from the Tri-Cities.
Pepe, just the name. Pepe. Deena, you're great. Like, Pepe. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. When we got back to the Tri-Cities, because I had learned how to smoke crack over in Ogden, Utah, I kind of took it with me when I went back to the Tri-Cities. Things unraveled, and I got involved with some people, and I started doing some things, and I ended up, we'll fast forward it to 1991. I'm pregnant with my second child, have my second child in 1990, have my second child, and then she was born in 91. Okay. And then I ended up getting busted with 9 ounces of cocaine and going to prison for a while.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Similarities in our stories, Deena, because my daughter's born in 1992.
There you go.
I stopped using drugs to have her.
Yeah.
Yeah, the doctor was very impressed with me. He said, abort or stop using drugs. You have 2 choices.
Yeah.
And I came back the next month. I was 35 pounds heavier, and he said, you look beautiful.
Oh.
Yeah. No, but so my crazy thinking is justification, but I opened the escort service back up. I had closed it. No, so I could finish my college, right? And pay for a nanny.
Yeah.
Like that was my thinking. And I ended up in prison in 94.
Oh, there you go.
And I got busted when she was like a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was away from her from 2 to 2.5. Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't, me and my first baby girl weren't that lucky. I didn't go to complete abstinence. And I ended up having her early. She was a 4-pound, 12-ounce baby. And back then they didn't have a lot of newborn stuff. So she wore Cabbage Patch clothes.
Oh.
And she ended up getting pneumonia. She was in a bubble for a while.
Wow.
She'll be 34 this year. 34.
My daughter's 34.
Yeah, she's
in a
doing
week.
She's doing great. But yeah, I ended up going to prison, and in between there somewhere I got married. So I got married
To Pepe?
Oh no, there's so
We
many.
lost Pepe.
You lost Pepe. Pepe left because Deena was doing too much. She was getting into too much trouble. So Pepe went back to Utah. I ended up marrying Lolo. His real name's Juan, but we called him Lolo.
I fucking
I'm
love
like,
it.
I can't even believe this stuff sometimes. We're not talking about it. But
It's great.
I married him. So my children wouldn't go to my mom. I had this big resentment against my mother. So I married him so my children wouldn't go to my mom. And he took care of the kids while I went to prison. And he brought them to me every month to see the kids.
Bless his soul.
Yeah, I went to maximum security men's unit up in Shelton, Washington. That's the receiving unit for the women. And you're locked up for 23 hours a day, pretty much, except for your meals. You're there with everyone. You're there with max, medium, low security people until you get shipped to your spots. And then I got shipped up to some place in the mountains over there by Olympia. And there we would work for 10 hours a day, get paid 36 cents an hour. And we would plant trees. We were cutting down trees, planting trees.
Wow.
Time
I cut
went
down
by.
some trees in prison as well.
Yeah, you would load 100 trees on your back and you would go up this terrain and you would plant trees all day. And then I
made more than you, though. I was in boot camp, and in boot camp, we got paid $1 a day for the first.
That's a lot more than
I
we were
know
getting
for
paid.
2 months. The second 2 months, you got $2.
Oh, that was.
And then the last.
How bougie. Just leave it to Julie to be so bougie in prison.
And honestly,
before that, so she.
I was, and honestly, you got to dress. You had your work clothes, but then you had your school clothes, and then you had your Sunday clothes, and we had an iron. And this Black girl, I love her, Rosie Lewis. She would iron the fuck out of our shirts. And she would put triple creases in it so we looked different and special.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
That's how I would wear my clothes, because we would wear our clothes pleated. We would pleat the back of our shirts, and we would.
That's what she did.
Down.
Yes.
That was the Chola style. And even when I was in county jail, I would use the mattresses. This is insane, right? This is insane.
This is awesome. But you know what? My girl did not read or write. We were completely different. I graduated from college, but I would write her letters to her daughter for her ironing my clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I got shipped to Pine Lodge in Spokane, and that was my landing point. That's where I wanted to be. It was closer to the Tri-Cities. I could see the kids more often. So me seeing my daughter take her first steps was in prison. I got to see my daughter. That hits me when I think about it, because
it hits me.
Yeah, because for me, coming from a long line of alcoholics and drug addicts and being around what I was around all those years, that was normal. It was almost like a badge of honor to go to prison. My goals weren't to go to college. My goals were to go the other way. And the insidiousness of that, looking back now, I can't even like.
I'm the only one.
Yeah.
That was not the goals. It wasn't like, are you going to go to college? It was like, which one are you going to?
Yeah.
I spent a fortune on your fucking education.
Yeah.
And I was really mad at my mom. And recently I realized, and it's taken a while, I was mad because you put me at the nanny's house and I was molested for 6 years. But I left my daughter with my mom, and my mom took amazing care of her for 6 months and 14 days. And I realized that she did the best she could being an alcoholic, and that she, in her own way, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah.
I do, because that's why previously I said my mom was my number one resentment, and it was because she didn't protect me.
Me too.
And I got molested by, my stepfather and other people, and
the nanny's husband.
She was at the top of my list, but she had no capabilities of protecting me. She was an alcoholic.
Yeah,
she had no solution. And when I'd hear people in the room say she did the best she could, I said, yeah, she did the best she could, but it wasn't very good. It wasn't very good.
And so me raising my daughter, never leaving you with any man, right? She used to say to me, how come I can't go over the house and spend the night? I was like, they can come here.
Yeah.
Your house is clean. Your house is flawless.
Yeah.
And she was like, you only let me go with the Girl Scouts. I'm like, there's 5 or 6 of them. I know you're safe. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't realize in the back of my mind, I didn't know why I did that. I didn't know until later on. But everything I did, I planned out because of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's times when I think My kids, there's so much, but my oldest daughter, she ended up planning her first 2 children. She planned the pregnancies, and I didn't know what planning was like.
Yeah.
Through my
Yeah, I didn't plan.
my active use and all that was going on, I just kept having babies. And by number 6 was when I really got into recovery, and far and few in between there.
6.
6.
Girl.
Wow.
6. I'm like, do you know what causes that? Like 6. Holy
I
shit.
thought I was Catholic and we didn't believe in we didn't believe in birth control. Yeah, that wasn't. So I'd always say we don't believe in birth control.
Let me tell you.
I wasn't Catholic though. There was no Catholic.
Look at
There was no
after the
religion
first
whatsoever.
child for me, birth control was my middle name.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
I went through a lot having her, but yeah.
Yeah. In prison, I got my first treatment center and it was called Stop. And I really had all intentions of doing that. I thought I was going to stop. And the gal that did our treatment there, she ended up coming back to the Tri-Cities and being my first sponsor. And when I got out of prison, I started going to meetings, but I'm pretty sure I was using marijuana on the side and I was trying to stay away from alcohol. I got a job. I was working at a place called Kavanaugh's, cleaning rooms. And I remember distinctly getting in a car with my fellow employees. They were giving me a ride home and they stopped and bought an 18-pack. And I could hear the can go.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I
They
feel
said,
about Coke
"Deena."
Classic. I'm just telling
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. And Deena, do you want a beer? Sure. And that
Why
was,
wouldn't I?
Why
Yeah.
wouldn't I? 10 more years of misery, came out of that one drink. And I ended up moving to Portland, 1996. It was the year of the floods.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. My sister was living over here. My mom called her, says, you got to come get Deena. She's really going down the hill. So I was coming over here to change my life once again. Another movement from state to state. And
It's funny how people think that works.
you're running from yourself, but there you are.
And guess what? If you want it, you'll find it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And if you don't change who you hang out with, I think is like a factor. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. My sister had it readily available.
Yeah.
She was like one of us.
Oh.
So she came and got me. And I remember driving down 84 with my son and my daughter in the car and I'd seen all the mud and the houses covered in mud from the mudslide. It was the year of the floods in Portland. And so coming here, I felt pretty devastated, but I thought I was going to start a new life. And I came here and I got a job at, that place across from Azteca over in Beaverton. I can't even remember the name.
Okay. So that you're in my hood.
Yeah.
I went to Sunset.
They knocked it down. They knocked the restaurant down. It's no longer there. I became a hostess there. I was like the hostess with the mostest.
I actually believe that with everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was a cool place out there, Earthquake Ethels.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
People will talk about earthquake
Because the floor moved. It was really cool. You could be dancing and it would shake like an earthquake. It was like cool.
Was it on purpose or just
Yeah, no, that's why it was called Earthquake Ethels.
And because the Crystal Ballroom has one of those floating floors that you.
Yeah. And if you were high, it was really cool.
Yeah. I can't even remember the name of that restaurant. But I started working there, and in the restaurant industry, you can find a lot of stuff. And right away, people were inviting me to go across to the Azteca and have a drink after work. And so I did. So it was like it was on once again. And over the years, I ended up having more children with yet another fella, and just continuous loss of jobs, evictions, and then bam, all of a sudden DHS stepped into my life, Department of Human Services. And by that time I have to back up a little bit. My oldest son, he ended up getting incarcerated at the age of 12. And then my other 4 children went into DHS custody. I was supposed to be, people were intervening all the way along the way. All these people would pop into my life and intervene a little bit. and I didn't get the message. I didn't grab on to the solution. It was there. They kept popping up, and DHS said, okay, we're going to buy you tickets to go back to the Tri-Cities to clean up your life with your mom. Go back with your mom with all the kids. And I was supposed to go back, but I couldn't. I was at a motel with the kids, and I kept leaving them and going to the bar. And my sister, my mom, one of them called DHS. They swooped in and got the kids, and I ended up in jail. And that was like the beginning of the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very difficult. Along the whole road, I never got a driver's license. I didn't do any of the things that you were supposed to do that were normal activities of growing up, adulthood.
Yeah,
No one ever grabbed my hand and said, hey, which college do you want to go to? Or maybe we should go get your license. Or those weren't things that happened in my life.
We did the which college do you go to? And I got tons of money because my dad died. And my mom, on paper, is a bartender.
Yeah.
My mom made millions in tips.
Yeah.
No, she was the fucking belle of the ball. She had more boyfriends than any person I've ever known. And I would say something. She'd be like, why are you saying that right now? And I'd be like, yeah. And we got Blazer tickets. Me and my daughter, like this guy would drop them off, that guy. If I needed tires, we went here. Like, I'm just telling you, she knew everyone. I never fucked off in Beaverton either because she bartended at the 1Q and for like 20 years. And I was scared to fuck off in Beaverton. I was scared. I was more scared of her than the police, straight up.
Yeah. There's a lot in between there. And my mom was back in the Tri-Cities, and I was over here with my sister, and I was staying with one of her friends. And then all of a sudden I hooked up with that guy and then ended up losing the kids years later. And even then I didn't stop. Like even then it wasn't enough for me to stop. And I started following all these people were like mandated on me. I had DHS, I had a probation officer, like I had all these people involved in my life.
Parole officer did it for me.
Yeah, probation officer.
No, parole, not probation. There's a difference.
Oh yeah, there is a difference.
One, you're getting a slap on the hand and maybe a little time in jail. The other, you're going back to prison.
Yeah. And anyways, I started going to visits with my children over by the Lloyd Center. And back then, DHS was a little different. They weren't, I think they've changed a little bit, but I'm not absolutely sure. But they weren't very supportive. And all their services were in Multnomah County, and I resided in Washington County. So I'd hop on the bus and I'd go and visit them. And there was a time that I was visiting. It was over by the Lloyd Center, so I'd have to walk over that overpass. And I think it was 33rd, over somewhere by there. And I'd walk over that overpass. And I was walking across after one of my visits, and it was like a jumping off point. It was like
Grant High School where it goes over.
Yeah. It's right there.
Yeah.
That's exactly where it's at. And there's a DHS office right there.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
And I wanted to jump off that little overpass. Like I couldn't live with or without drugs, and I couldn't do them. Like I couldn't live either way. And I think that was like the first epiphany of there's a problem. I was mandated to go to meetings. I was mandated to treatment. I wasn't doing any of it. Like I was so against authority. And what really happened was I was on a bus, a TriMet bus one day, and some member of a 12-step group was on that bus. And I didn't know him. I never met him. But I was bragging to my friends about how long, they were jail friends, how long I had been sober. And this guy turns around and he says, oh yeah? When am I going to see you in a meeting? I was like, damn.
I love that.
I was like, who the fuck are you?
Can I tell you, when I was first sober, I didn't talk to anybody from before. No one. I was scared.
Yeah.
And they'd say, what are you doing? I'll see you in a meeting, man. That was my answer for everything. If you want to see me, I'll be in this meeting at noon. It was a very safe answer. Only one ever showed up. Yeah.
Yeah. That was that right there. And that man got me curious. And I found the West Side Service Center over in Beaverton, and I started going to meetings.
I love it.
I started going to meetings. And
Is that the one by Dairy Queen?
Yes.
Girl. So that is crazy because I went there too, right?
Yeah.
So I'm out of the parole officer and I'm in Washington County parole, and which was easier than Portland. Praise Jesus. Because when I got out of boot camp, we got assigned to a certain lady over here. And I didn't want to be in Portland because I didn't fuck up in Beaverton because my mom. And I went to there for an NA meeting. And somebody was fucking high in that meeting. And I was so annoyed. I was kind of like, who the fuck are you fooling, right? And this motherfucker was tweaking. And so I was scared to go back. I was scared to go back, which is how I ended up at the meeting that I've been going to for almost 29 years, was by going to that meeting.
Yeah.
And I liked that meeting because it was by Dairy Queen.
Bonus.
That's what I thought.
It was a bonus. That was like more of a raw place. It wasn't quite like Scully's for sure.
I've been there.
But it was more of a raw place to be
I just went to the wrong meeting.
Yeah.
You know how we always say, find the meeting that works for you?
That's right.
But I believe that was God, because where does a ex-prostitute, ex-con, IV drug user end up? At a gay men's meeting.
There you go.
You don't want to sleep with me. It was perfect.
Safe place.
It was the safest place in the whole wide world for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I tried the NA meetings there too, but I didn't. I ended up going to the other meetings to
Me too.
AA. Yeah.
I love AA.
Yeah, I didn't have anywhere else to go. I was mandated to services. I was mandated, like I said, treatment, mandated to domestic violence groups, because I had just a whole slew of
A pile of shit.
A big pile of shit. So mandated to non-offending parenting classes. My children experienced things they should have never experienced. And I was mandated to whatever they could mandate me. It was almost like giving me an impossible journey to fulfill. And
There are a lot of hoops to go through.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Like, I hear you. I'm grateful in hindsight, right? But when I first got out, just dealing with the IRS, they made me pay taxes on $250,000.
Wow.
Or take a racketeering charge. And I'm like, and checking my bank account was my parole officer had to check my bank account. Believe it or not, I had to be fully transparent because my crime is something you could do on the down low. And so, yeah, no, but it was a lot. It was a lot of hoops. And I say this when I chaired this meeting to a bunch of guys, homeless guys, and from prison in California. It's 100 guys. And I said, sometimes you just got to follow the fucking rules.
Yeah.
You do, to get where you want to. And maybe you'll change along the line, but sometimes you just got to go with it.
Yeah, my thoughts were, because along the road when I was using and stuff, there was a lot of my family members, different gang affiliations. There was just all kinds of stuff. So we used to think that they wanted to keep us on paper. It never came to mind, if you followed the rules, you might even get off early.
I didn't get off early. Look, I didn't get off early.
Even help you. If you follow the rules, you might get better outcomes. That wasn't a thought. It ended up being something, but it wasn't. I absconded for 4 years.
Yeah.
That wasn't a thought for me.
It requires you to follow someone and listen to someone. And I'm the same way. Authority figures.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Don't you tell me what to do.
Yeah. It's difficult.
You absconded for 4 years?
Oh, yeah.
You go, girl. Like, I didn't go in on a warrant, right? And I got pulled over by Eldorado or Silverado. And getting pulled over in front of all my peers, that was my hood, and getting arrested there, I didn't. So I went to court every time after that because I didn't like you having control of when you picked me up. I wanted control of when I went. Yeah.
No, I was always running. I was always getting picked up. And I was always pleading guilty. I wouldn't go through the process. I don't even know if some of those things, assaults, forgeries, like the going to prison, like I don't know if I could have even bypassed some of those charges if I would have paid attention.
I'm guilty.
Right.
Yeah. Just I'm guilty.
Get it over with.
Jail, and it became a resting place.
The normal.
It became the normal. And I ended up, early in sobriety, there was 7 lawyers, CASA, DHS involved in my case.
Wow.
And it was a huge battle. And it lasted for 9.5 years, dead sober. And in the first year, my oldest daughter was returned because they had to close the foster home down. There were some allegations going on. I actually was in the hospital when DHS called me. I had another pregnancy and my tubes had burst in recovery. And I had to be rolled in for emergency surgery. And I got a call and they're like, we're having to shut down the home. Do you want your daughter to come home? That's how she ended up coming home.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And because she was separated from her brothers. Her 3 brothers went to another home. And then I ended up, they did not want to give me my children back. And I ended up having a 3-day trial 2 years into it. And I won the 3-day trial, but they gave the state a stay to find some other way to keep the children in care. And what happened was foster mom became party to my case and fought me for my kids for 2 of my boys for 7.5 more years. They returned one of my sons at that time. And so to the point, we were having a celebration for him to be returned. I'm 2 years sober. My sponsor's 14 years sober. We're having this party together because he's coming home. And me and this fella are hauling chairs from the West Side Service Center to my apartment, and we get pulled over. And he's all tatted up, and the police officer is treating him kind of bad. So I'm like,
especially in Beaverton.
I'm
just saying.
I'm kind of like defending him, sticking up for him, and they ran my name, and I had a fucking warrant for my arrest.
Oh,
So
damn
they
it.
took me to jail. And my son's coming home. The party's the next day, and I get swept off to jail.
And you didn't even know about the warrant.
No.
That happened to me.
It was $36 fine that I hadn't paid, and I had a warrant for my arrest.
Oh, my God.
4
Oh,
years
my God.
sober.
Yeah.
I'm getting a job, a different job. I've signed the offer letter, right? It's a pretty bougie job. And they called me and they said, we're rescinding our offer letter. And I'm like, what do you mean? And they said, you have a warrant in Washington. I call my sponsor, right? And I'm like, I told them that I had a ticket. And what's crazy is I was innocent. This was the only thing I was ever innocent fucking on. No, this girl stole a bra and I don't know what she was doing. I gave her a ride to the store. And I'm like waiting in the car for her. So I go looking for her because I'm like, where is this bitch? For real. And they arrest me thinking I'm the lookout. And I'm like, I'm not looking out for shit.
Damn.
And they made me strip
Yeah.
to check me. And I'm like, I don't got shit.
Yeah.
And so they wrote me a ticket and let me leave.
Yeah.
And that was the warrant because I never appeared on the ticket because I was in prison for something I really
Right.
did. But yeah, I was like, what the fuck? I
Yeah.
got a warrant and I'm sober and I'm doing the right
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
They made me pay $200. The judge goes, we don't have this file. And I was like, let me tell you what really happened. And I was there with my sponsor and my sponsor's sponsor.
Yeah.
And we collectively had the $200 together and 10 to go for ice cream after. Crazy. Yeah.
I think that last time of going to jail for me was like a rude awakening. I walked into the jail and I'm looking around and all the same people are there.
Doing life on the installment
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah. And I was like, man, this was different now because it was no more like a resting place.
And you're sober.
And I'm sober.
And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
fucked up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. There was a
and
gal.
it's dirty
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's nasty and you don't get to choose your clothes
No.
or get your nails done
No.
or get your hair highlighted. I'm
No.
just saying, it's
No.
horrible.
And I still hadn't had any of those things in my life. When I got sober, I was on welfare. I was using every resource I could possibly get to survive. I didn't even have housing. I was sleeping in vacant apartments when I got sober.
Wow.
I was couch surfing, going back and forth. Women are able to compensate in other ways and get what they need in other ways. And that's how I would find my sleeping places. When in sobriety, I was like, I went to Section 8 housing to see if I could get a voucher. I had been on a list. They said, oh, we took you off the list. And then magically 2 weeks later, I got a Section 8 voucher for housing. And I got
really
an
with your
apartment.
record?
Yes.
Go, girl.
Yeah. So that's how I got my first apartment. And then the miracle in me going to jail was that members from the fellowship came and got me out of jail. They came and signed me out. We had the party. My son came home. Everything still
I hope
happened.
if I ever go to jail, that happens for me.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Peter.
You get a get out of jail free card every once in a while.
I told my sponsor that he's 46 years sober. And I'm like, if I call, you better get me one time at least. You know? And I've been out for 32 years.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So that was like a epiphany or a rude awakening going to jail and sobriety. And then the real fight was on, because before sobriety, I guess I missed a lot of stuff. Like early in recovery, I went through tattoo removal. I have all these beautiful tattoos now, but back then I had a teardrop tattooed on my face. Do you remember Aquanet?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, Aquanet. Yeah, I used to blow dry my hair and I'd stand it up and I'd spray it. And like my makeup was just,
dramatic.
Oh, yeah.
She has no makeup on right now, just so you know.
Yeah. And I had spider webs and daggers and blood dripping down my legs and tattoos. And Outside In had just opened their tattoo removal program.
I love them.
Yeah. Yeah,
I helped raise money for the one over here on Stark.
Oh, yeah.
I went to the one downtown.
Oh, yeah.
The very first one before it got the big sweet ass building.
Yes.
Yes, when I was in college.
Yes.
And I went there for the needle exchange program so that I never used a dirty needle. I brought a dirty needle to get a clean needle.
Yeah.
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 Thanks to them, I never used a dirty needle.
Yeah. They removed 11 of my tattoos.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I didn't even know they did that.
Oh, yeah, it was for gang affiliated tattoo removal, and it was a new program back then. I think they're still doing it, or might be on hold. I'm not sure.
It does make a difference.
Oh, yeah, the doctors would come in and donate their time and do tattoo removal, and I got 11 tattoos removed through them.
I'm glad you got the tear removed. I'm just saying, like, the one on your arm is cool as fuck, but I have one, and I always say you have to be special to see it. You know what I'm saying? But no, like, your face is beautiful.
Unrelated, not just out of my own curiosity. Is it as painful to have them removed as it is to have them done?
Worse.
That's what everyone says.
It's worse. It's like this fire. That's hitting
what I've
your
heard.
skin, going burning you.
Oh,
And it's breaking up the ink, and the ink just disperses.
And, and people might say it's not true, but I'm a manager, hiring a lot of people. Sometimes your skills, there will be a bias for how you look.
Oh, 100%.
If you look like that, and that could be the most qualified person, but there is a subconscious bias.
Oh, 100%. One of my sons has face tattoos, and I've had even people on Facebook make comments about it. So there's 100%. There's so many biases in this world. It's just like nonstop. Yeah.
Being an ex-con, there's a bias.
Oh, yeah. There's so many more. Yeah. Anyways,
11 tattoo removals.
11 tattoo removals.
Shout out to the Outside In.
Shout out to Outside In. Yeah, that's an amazing program.
It is. There's this lady there named Margie. She was there for 20 something years. She's got to be, I'm old, so she's got to be like old, right? And she used to make us a food box all the time. And I remember, those round things of licorice where most people get a few?
Yeah.
She really liked my partner. And they were like really cool. And she gave us a whole container. And she would hook us up because you were only allowed to get one food box every 2 weeks or a month back in the day. And she would hook us up till the next time almost. But yeah, the outside in did a lot.
Yeah, the government cheese. You remember the government cheese? The
Big
cheese
blocks.
Yeah. Oh my god.
You don't know unless right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Powdered milk though? No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
No, I did not use
There's
it.
things where you just draw the line. Yeah.
Yeah, that and the canned meat I wasn't too
Look,
fond of.
again, look at, fuck that. I agree with you. But the block cheese was cool. Grilled cheese sandwiches.
Yeah. Yeah, early in recovery, I used TriMet for the first 2 years. So anytime I was going to visit my sons, or I went to VOA for parenting classes, or I went to my domestic violence groups, or I was going to meetings, it was all on TriMet. So we would me and my youngest daughter, who's never seen me drink or use, I'd put her in a fanny pack in front, and my daughter, who was returned a year into it, and my son, we'd hop on the bus early in the morning and we wouldn't get home till late at night. Like it was a whole trek every day. And I started setting goals, and it was the old timers who kind of scooped me up.
Me too.
They scooped me up, and it wasn't the women, it was the men old timer, and they didn't try anything, but they scooped me up and they gave me little side jobs. They did this, they did that. And they trusted me. It was like a blind trust.
I have to tell you, for me, they gave me trust in them.
Yeah.
I didn't trust anyone.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, at my first meeting, I trusted my mother with my child, but I didn't trust her with me. And then I left her with $30,000 to last her 24 months, and she spent it in 6. And I got home and I'm like, what? And I didn't trust her with me at all. But yeah, and the old timers, I had a breakdown on a Friday because we didn't have meetings at that meeting on the weekends. And I was crying to you can't breathe crying. And I was like, I have such a hard time on the weekends. I am crying. I don't even remember crying that much ever since that day. And they're like, we'll meet tomorrow, kiddo.
Aww.
And they came to the church for me on Saturdays and Sundays because I had a hard time.
Nice.
How unselfish is that?
Yeah.
And we'd go there and there'd be 5 and they'd be like, okay, it's 10 minutes each, Julie.
Yeah.
And I didn't really talk at meetings a lot then. I was new and I'm still on parole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what some people would say they had the pink cloud, or that the women rushed over and rallied around them. And if you can imagine this little Chicana woman walking in angry, throwing up all over the meetings. And it was the old timer men who tolerated, love and tolerance was their code. And they showed me the way. And they allowed me in their houses to clean I would clean their houses for a little bit of money for shoes or things like that for the kids. And
I did that when I was unemployed.
Yeah.
I had 2 guys, older guys in our group, had me clean their house. It was for nail money. I won't lie. But yeah, no, because I couldn't afford some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was on Section 8. I was using food stamps, and I got enrolled in some program called Jobs Plus. And during this time, I'm attending court hearings every 3 months for the other 2 boys. And at Jobs Plus, they would give you work experience. No, the work experience and clothes.
Yeah.
They Dress for Success was one of the programs.
Can I tell you?
Yeah.
I went to Dress for Five Outfits. I went there after I had my daughter, and it's another place that I've raised money for.
Yeah.
And one of the best programs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they gave me a blazer, and I had those pants. They just gave me plain black pants and a white top. And I had that for almost 18 years.
Yeah.
I wore those fucking pants. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They put me at Care to Share. Care to Share.
I don't know that one.
In Beaverton, it was a place that it's still open that gave food boxes and energy assistance and rental assistance to the community. They worked through the churches. All the churches would provide the food boxes and and financial assistance, and also through community action, funneled some money through there. So I worked as one of the coordinators for the food boxes. But while I was there, one of the positions opened up, the administrative assistant position, and I didn't apply for it. I still had the teardrop on my face. I was still
rough around the edges.
Yeah, rough around the edges. The women I was working with were from church and stuff. They didn't necessarily hang out in the hood. They didn't. So I didn't apply for the job, and my boss, she pulled me aside. She said, Deena, why didn't you apply for the job? I said, well, I didn't think you'd hire me. She said, well, I'll give you 24 hours to put your resume in. So I did, but she didn't hire me. She hired a gal with a college degree. That gal with the college degree quit 2 days later, and I got the job.
And that lady was about bullshit. Seriously, sometimes it's your heart.
Yeah.
It really is.
Sometimes the universe just conspires in a way that is suiting.
God is good.
Yep. And
especially if you're doing the work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you see it when when you're in a muck, right?
No.
And you're blaming fucking everyone. It's not you.
No.
It's them.
Yeah.
But when you start doing the work, I truly believe to this day that hard work pays off.
It does.
Especially when you do it in the right way. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It does. I think when I walked into the rooms, it was everyone else's fault. I didn't have any part in my life whatsoever. There was no...
Girl, I say this all the time. My 4-step wasn't a resentment on this person. It was the IRS, the DMV, the DEA,
DHS.
Yes, girl. I wasn't involved in
I had no part in my life whatsoever.
I'm just telling you, everything I was pissed off had a 3-letter. And seriously, in my 1st step, there was only one person I was pissed off at. And they weren't really in my life. I was pissed off. They kept calling my house. And I was like, really? Why are you calling my house? But yeah, no. And as I go on, I make realizations like, bitch, you know you did. And yeah, I just had one the other day. I was thinking about, I talk about my mom. I blamed her for so much stuff.
Yeah.
And she earned some of it. And I thought whatever I gave back to her, she kind of deserved. She shouldn't have dropped me off at the nannies for fucking 11 years, right? And I remember selling her car and leaving her a note and telling her where she could get it back because she had the title. And I'm thinking, if my child did that to me, my child wouldn't, first of all. But I was thinking, it just came up randomly, like I hadn't, and I'm thinking, man, good thing she's not here because you really do owe her a few apologies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That brings me back to when I was getting sentenced for prison and my mom was sitting in the room.
My mom wouldn't go.
Oh, my mom was sitting there and she was crying. And I was looking at her, and forgive me for saying this, but I was looking at her, I was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, bitch, you should be happy. I only got 23 months. I got the minimum sentence.
I got 24.
Yeah, I thought.
But my mom said, you got yourself into this mess. You can get yourself the fuck out of it. And no, I'm not going to court with you.
I just thought that was how insidious the disease is and how selfish and self-centered that really makes a person, because I didn't even care about what she was going through. It didn't even cross my mind.
Same. She had to take my child. She worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't think about any of that. And you talk about DHS, right?
Yeah.
I never had to deal with DHS.
Yeah.
I was lucky. The one thing that the detective said at my sentencing, he said, she's been a good mom. The house is meticulous. The kid is taken care of. And he said, so we're going to let the kid go with her mother.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he brought my mother diapers.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have that experience. My children went through things they should have never went through. And it was because of the decisions I made. It was someone might try to come and save me, but I've already been to hell. And the way I stay out is
I
by
love
not
that.
drinking or using. I've been to hell many times. And if I want to go back, I know how to get there. And if
Yeah.
I want to stay out, I know how to do that too.
But you know what, Deena? Because of all these experiences, right? I see the shit you do.
Yeah.
Seriously, I couldn't wait to talk to you. And I'm getting emotional because I see the shit you do. And if you didn't have all these experiences, you couldn't do that. You wouldn't understand. People who don't go through it do not understand. And I think that you do go through hell to get to heaven. And because you went through hell, you're like an angel of a different kind. You know what I'm saying? You are. Like, I see it. For real. I see it all the time. I follow you. I read about you. I really do. I didn't even know you and Izzy were friends. Like, we were talking. I talk to him all the time. And I was like, oh yeah, on Saturday. And he said her name wrong. And I was like, I've been waiting for this podcast. This lady's a busy woman. But yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll go back to you got your first job.
I got my first job. She didn't really want to give it to me, but I got it. And it paid $12 an hour. And I have the 3 kids at home, and I'm paying child support for the other kids that are in foster care.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, yeah. It was difficult. It was very challenging, but I was up for a challenge.
Earning honest money when you haven't earned honest money is difficult to begin with.
Yeah, yeah. And so I started looking for a job. I started looking for a job in other places because I needed to support my family. I'm on welfare. I'm on welfare. We're eating top ramen, frozen burritos,
mac and cheese.
Kool-Aid. You remember Kool-Aid?
Yes.
10 cents a packet.
Yes.
Yeah. Kids' teeth falling out, shit like that. So I started looking for another job, and it was almost defeating because I had a criminal record. I'm applying for all these places. I'm getting turned down. And all of a sudden, this guy calls me out of the blue, and he tells me about this operations position at a joint called Jam Pro. And Jam Pro was a cleaning franchise. So he sold franchises across Oregon to people to clean commercial buildings.
Okay.
And I said, yeah, I'll come apply. And this job paid way more than this $12 an hour job. And I was really scared because of my criminal record. And so I went for my first interview, and I'm talking to the fellowship the whole time through because I don't know if I'm going to get this job. And I'm freaked out about filling out an application because the application says, have you been
convicted of a fucking felony?
Yeah. And I've never been through this process of interviews.
My answer is we'll explain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because I want you to understand, I didn't rob a bank. I didn't hurt nobody. I
had to learn how to write letters of explanation.
Yeah.
When I applied for apartments, when I applied for jobs. Anyways, I go through the first interview and it goes fine. He calls me for a second interview. I say, okay, I'm talking to my people about it. I'm freaked out. I go to the second interview. He calls me back and he wants to make me an offer. I was like, make me an offer? Damn. I've never been made an offer before.
Not that kind of offer.
This is different. And I'm like talking to my people. I'm like, they're going to have me fill out an application. And I'm writing down 217 to his office. And that song comes on the radio. I believe in miracles, you sexy thing. And I'm jamming, I'm going.
On your road.
I'm like, okay. And I'm sitting in his office and he says, how's your criminal record? Oh, no, let's back up. He says, I was looking at your resume, and I was the assistant manager at the Westside Service Center. He says, I was looking at your resume, and I was wondering about this place. And he goes, the Westside Service Center. And I said, well, yeah, I'm the assistant manager. He goes, I've been there. I said, are you a friend of Bill's? He said, yes, I'm a friend of Bill's.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
And then his next question is, how's your criminal record?
Because do you have to be bonded for your job?
No.
Ooh,
No, but
thank
I'm
God.
going in banks. I'm going in hospitals. I'm going in. I said, it's not very good.
It's real good, like, yeah.
And he gave me the job. He
Oh,
gave me an
that's awesome.
opportunity.
Yeah.
And I worked there for 11 years. I worked there. I started at the bottom and I worked my way up to operations director.
Friends of
helped.
Bill
Oh,
are
yeah.
the best.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was at Sprint for 20 years.
Yeah.
And when I first applied, I'm just off parole.
Yeah.
And I hate that fucking box. Are you convicted of a felony? And I just said to her, just let me tell you, I didn't ever want to be removed from a job for lying on an application or anything. So I was like super honest about it. Yeah, let me tell you what happened. But I'm this many years sober. And I
Right.
was sober 4 years.
Yeah.
And I started off at the bottom,
Yeah.
went to quality team, went to
Yeah.
supervisor,
Yeah.
and I ended up at senior operations
Yep.
manager too. I say senior because we were there a long time and I felt senior. But no, and I, like you, I worked hard.
Yeah.
And to show you I have a good work ethic, to show
Yeah.
you I'm
Mhm.
ethical.
Yeah.
And I
Above
felt
and beyond.
exactly because I felt like I had to make up
Yeah.
for the past and for my child.
Yeah.
I wanted when I took you to a high school thing or whatever. Yeah, my mom's an operations manager from Sprint. I wanted to be proud.
Yeah.
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 And it took me a minute to not be ashamed.
Yep. Yep. And I did the same thing. I went above and beyond for that company. And I ended up buying a franchise of my own. So I started clean. I had all these kids to take care of. And
You
I
sure
was
did,
paying
girl.
child support. I had no
You
financial.
had the Brady Bunch without the Brady.
And there was no dad there to help. There was no
Yeah.
other financial
For none of 'em?
support for none of them. Zip, nada, zero,
Wow.
nothing. I was the one paying child support to the state for
State.
the other two kids because we were still in the battles for
No, what's
7.5
so crazy
more
about that
years.
paying child support on your own kid
Yeah.
that you want?
Yeah, that you want to come home.
Yeah. If you can't see me, it's fuck you. Yeah.
It was horribly intense for the kids and for me, because in both households, you still have all those lawyers involved. You still have CASA. You still have DHS showing up at your door
Anytime they want.
anytime they want.
Mhm.
So both households are living on eggshells.
That's how I felt when the parole officer could come and ask for a UA at any
Yeah.
time. Even though I knew I was clean,
Yeah.
having this big ass bitch in the bathroom with me
Yeah.
right here,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I couldn't always pee because I was nervous. So I'd have to drink like a soda and
Yeah.
a water.
Yeah.
Then I'm peeing for an hour after they leave.
Yeah.
But seriously, it was very intimidating.
Yeah.
It was. And when you've been through trauma, you don't respond to life like other people do.
I already know.
So it gets misinterpreted. And I used to have a bat sitting by my door in that first apartment I got because I lived in a shady neighborhood. I was on Section 8. I lived in a shady neighborhood. I'm used to living in survival mode.
I live in a shady neighborhood now.
Yeah.
I have a little decent condo, but it's in a shady. People get shot 1 block from my house now. I live off Division.
Yeah, so I have a bat by my door, and the CASA comes over to visit, and she's gotten real good friends with the foster mom. She's the advocate for the kids, and she questions me about the bat by the door, and I'm like, people play baseball. That's not. I had the bat for protection.
Yeah.
But what are you supposed to tell them? Because they're going to misinterpret whatever you say.
I'm going to beat your ass
Oh.
if you come to the door and you're not supposed to, which is how I feel to this day. My sponsor said I can have a gun now, right? After 15 years, you can have a gun. I was like, did you know I can have a gun now? And he's, fuck no. He goes, I don't tell you what to do very often, but there is no gun in your life.
We would go through things. My daughter at the time, she's still my daughter, but my oldest daughter would buy her siblings, her brothers, the little guns with the things that shoot out and stick on the wall.
Oh, yeah.
And I took them to the visit, and the foster mom brought them back in a paper bag and handed them to me and said, we don't allow these in our house. Condescending things
Yeah.
without communication. It could have been a conversation
Yeah.
instead of being presented in front of your kids in such a way.
Yeah.
It was sending a different message.
Yeah.
It was not good.
No.
So the first 9.5 years of my life, they say trudging the road of happy destiny.
Girl, trudging.
When I heard that, I would think of a bulldozer digging a hole in the ground, and it just kept getting bigger. And it just kept getting bigger. And I didn't know that meant walking with purpose. You learn how to walk through purpose. You walk with purpose when you keep trudging the road of happy destiny. And
I like that, walking with purpose.
yeah.
I've never heard it like that.
Oh, yeah. And I think it says it somewhere in one of those. I don't know where I got that from, but it is walking with purpose.
Doesn't say it in the big book.
Maybe it's in the 12 by 12.
Maybe. Yeah.
And so I kept at that job, and over the years, I finally ended up doing a joint custody with a foster parent.
Wow. I didn't know that was a thing.
I guess it was 7 years into it. They kept contracting people out to work with me and the foster parent, and it kept not working out. She wouldn't show up to the appointments.
What a bitch.
Or the... I don't know if my kids are going to listen to this. Or she would like...
Okay, what an opportunity. I'm sorry.
Or she would like... Or like the contractors would start advocating for the family to be reunified. And the DHS would shut the contract down. It was even testified to in court. And I don't want to get this fella in trouble, but...
Just after doing that for so many years, right?
Yeah.
Meet you halfway. Dang.
Yes.
Yeah.
The whole family was on hold. The whole family was like on hold. I was going to their school events, their sports events. I was everywhere. I'm the go. So I could show up. I made sure I showed up.
Amen.
And I volunteered at their schools. I was fully immersed in their lives. And there always seemed to be something that got in the way. And there was this one therapist that worked for us, and they shut him down too. They said, you can no longer work with Deena and her family, because he started advocating for the return of the kids. And he called me afterwards and he said, Deena, I need to meet you for lunch. And I met him for lunch, and he handed me all this information. It was congressmen, legislators, Jerry Burns with DHS. He was the head of DHS back then. He says, Deena, if you want your kids ever to be in your home, you need to do something. And so I wrote letters. I wrote letters to advocate and to question why my kids weren't being returned. I wrote letters to Jerry Burns, to the congressmen, to the legislators, and it really stirred the pot. So they tried to return the kids, but it was too late. The kids didn't want to come.
Oh.
The kids didn't want to come. And my one son said, the kids had too much power. The kids were given the power. They were little. They shouldn't be making decisions.
And there's probably a lot of influence from where they were staying.
Yeah. And my one son said, Mom, if you keep pushing this, I'm not going to come visit you guys. I said, I believe the family reunified would heal in a different way. And I said, I can't promise you that I'm not going to push this anymore. So they didn't visit us for a year. They didn't visit us for a whole year. And we got through that. We made it through that. That son actually ended up coming home on his own at the age of 16. But my youngest son never came home. My youngest son, we always maintained, we have a very strong relationship and bonds. We're the family that when we go on a trip, we're all going together. But my youngest son never ended up coming home. He actually works with us at the nonprofit. He's one of the peer case manager supervisors over in Clackamas County.
Wow.
He's doing really well. But that was like the dynamics of what my recovery looked like.
That's a hard road.
Yeah. It was very interesting. And I'd sit in the rooms and I'd watch women get their children back, and I watch them relapse. And I'd always sit there and go, why won't they give me the kids back? And today, I know that my experience is my past and my greatest asset. And my experience is benefiting others.
Absolutely.
Somehow, some way.
Can you? So not everybody knows because they don't stalk you like I do. Can you tell everybody what you do now and how it came about? And like,
So I got sober in 2003. And in 2005, I wrote in my journal that I wanted to help the homeless. There was an old timer involved in my life. His name was Bob Sinclair, and he'd give me a lot of rides to visit my children or to go to services. And we would talk a lot. And he told me about this gal named Mary Jane Copeland over in another state who she used to wash the homeless feet. And she ended up building this huge community and helping the homeless and giving them purpose. And so in 2005, I wrote in my journal, I still have it. I said I wanted to help the homeless. And while I was at JanPro, I got a call. So at JanPro, we had a contract with CODA. And so I would go into CODA and I would do inspections.
On 181st?
No, the one over in Beaverton. It wasn't an inpatient, it was the outpatient office. And I would do the one on Burnside too. So is it Burnside or right behind Burnside?
I don't know.
I
lived at the one on 181st.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I've been out to that one too. But the gal there working the front desk was a board member at Fairhaven. And I didn't know her intimately, but I knew her by going and talking to her every time. She knew I was in recovery, and I talked to her every time I did an inspection. Fairhaven was falling apart. Something big happened at Fairhaven, and the county pulled their contract, and the board members were scrambling. She was a board member, and all of a sudden I get a call, and it says, Deena, can you come help me over here? Can you come help me clean these houses up? At the time, Fairhaven were self-paid model, 13 locations, and it's just unraveling. And I said, this is an opportunity for me to get my feet wet.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity. I would rent out one of my rooms at my house and periodically for 6 months to people in sobriety. So that was like my first taste, but this was like a whole different opportunity. And I had already prepared to be a CRM. So I had already gotten my certification while I was at JanPro because I was getting ready to go back to nonprofit. I prepared and planned.
I got mine too.
Yeah. And she asked me to come help her. She was paying me $10.50 an hour. She was paying me under minimum wage.
Yeah.
She was ripping me off. Anyways, I was working, but I was working 60 hours a week. I ended up losing my job at JanPro because I'm working so much over here. And this place is falling apart. She's trying to liquidate it. And this was in 2018. 2019, Christmas Day, one of the houses burns down.
Oh my gosh.
And then she says, I'm leaving because my husband's dying and I can't do this anymore. She was doing the operations. The board dissolved, everything.
Wow.
And I get voted in as the executive director and handed a checkbook in the negative.
Oh, thanks. Oh my gosh.
That sounds like Lance Orton.
Oh
he gets city team, right? And they're crumbling.
Yeah. And along the way, he's kind of like the middle son. He's 26 now, gets diagnosed with schizophrenia.
Oh.
And disappears. This is happening simultaneously with all this other stuff. And so I end up with this nonprofit and I end up with all these papers and it's nonprofit 101. And you're either going to sink or you're going to swim. Which one is it going to be, Deena? And I've always swimmed. So I started
You
swimming.
swim up current and strong current, girl. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we cleaned up all the houses from 2018 to 2020 when she left. And then I started writing grants. And because of my son's experience with schizophrenia, and then he subsequently got hooked on meth, which was laced with fentanyl.
Oh.
So it really changed everything. I started navigating the behavioral health system in a whole new way. I almost lost my son. He had stopped eating. He was at Providence for 3 months. He dropped to 86 pounds and went into ICU. And they weren't going to help him because of human rights. So I had to take him to court and get medical guardianship and do a forced feeding tube to keep my son alive. And I did. And I'm gaining all my experience in the behavioral health system. And my goal with this nonprofit, number one, change the name, clean up its record, and start finding some funds so I can implement funded housing, because I wanted to provide a place. Here I am, this single mom of all these kids who never had housing, who always had to pay her bills, who had to figure it out. And I want to provide a place for people where they could heal and not have to worry about their rent.
Yeah.
And long story short, today we have 30 locations. 80% of them are fully funded stays. And we are not only helping people with SUD, we're helping people with co-occurring. And now we're opening a 39-unit building in Hillsboro. We're building it from ground up.
Preach.
Yeah. So, what went from tenacious people, one who's real bossy, me.
Couldn't have guessed that.
No, we have a lot of commonalities. Okay, yeah, I'm bossy too.
Director, you because you gotta,
Yeah.
direct.
You do,
Yeah.
you do, and you have to
Build the foundation.
It's just like in AA. You have to build the foundation, like you said, for those old timers.
Yeah,
They help build yours.
that's right.
They fucking are the cornerstones
Yes.
of my life. I don't even think some of them know how much. I have 3 or 4 that've been there since my first meeting, and they
Yes.
were old then.
Oh,
Let me
yeah.
tell you how old they are now.
Yes.
But they're everything.
Yes.
They're everything. And yeah, and you're now that foundation for someone else.
Yeah. We took that nonprofit and I started writing grants, and we started building a new model, and really built on purpose, community, connection. And now we have over 50 employees who are compensated with good compensation. And I sometimes don't realize what we've really done. And the
Well,
impacts.
you need to.
The impacts are.
I think you're so
They're
busy
huge.
working
You don't.
that you don't realize it because, like I said, I stalk you and I admit it, but it's in a good way. Like, I think I read every post. No, really educate myself that
Mhm.
way. I can tell you, especially if I'm interested. If I'm not
Right.
interested, fuck you. But I'm just saying, but if I'm interested and I believe in it and it's my passion, like, I just follow it and I see. It's just like you're here on a Saturday and last week you're in Washington, D.C.
Next week.
Next week.
I leave Tuesday.
Yeah.
We're going to go advocate for schizophrenia and psychosis for funding up at Washington, D.C. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
It's going to go okay.
Yeah.
It is. I feel it. But that's what I'm saying. Like, how crazy is that?
It is crazy. You wouldn't think from going from sleeping in vacant apartments to here you are, you get the ability, all that experience, all that painful experience turned into something that's helping so many people.
Yeah.
I believe it. Like,
Yeah.
The one thing I say on this show, they say miracles, whatever. I believe in miracles. I see them on this show all the time. We share them.
Yeah.
And it's been such a gift in my life. It's just given me so much more foundation,
Yeah.
more hope. And our purpose is to let people know,
Yeah.
like, fucking recovery is possible.
Yes.
It's amazing. It doesn't matter how far you go down, you can get back up.
Yeah.
A setback is a comeback.
Yeah.
It's just like 4D burning.
Yes.
That setback is just going to be another beautiful comeback.
It sure is.
And I believe that. I believe we all go through what we go through to get somewhere. I'm hoping this, right? We're up to 30,000 listeners. We're a little podcast we're in studio age trying to pay for our newsletter, which is $25.60 a month, right? But people are listening to us in Australia. Like, how cool is that?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And it is. It really is. And it's because of people like you. But it's just like,
For those who are listening that are interested
Yeah.
in the path to transcending hope,
Yeah.
could you tell a little bit about that? Like, how do
oh
you,
yeah.
how, for someone who's looking for those services?
Yeah. Right now we're training. We just hired a tri-county housing coordinator so that we could limit the number to one number. So right now you can go to our website and there's a couple of numbers on there that you can call and we will direct you to the correct personnel. It's low barrier screening. It's 5 or 6 questions. We have some locations that are self-paid models, but the rest are fully funded. So there's wait lists. So if you are in treatment and you know you're
Gonna get out.
yeah, you got to get on that list because most of the programs are 6-month fully funded stays with peer case management. And we do wraparound services with all the community partners. And then the other programs are 9-month funded stays with same things. And so we will,
Awesome.
we'll direct you to the right screening personnel. And so if someone's coming out of prison, out of treatment, even if you're homeless and you're wanting to get in the housing, we have bridge beds. That can be 30 to 40 days stay. And we plan to get you into your next steps, whether that be another housing program, treatment, or whatever it may be. We have locations all
I'm
across
going
the
to the
counties for
Impact
that.
Gala in a week
Yes.
for the transition to
Yes.
from homeless. Yeah. I'm
Yes.
going with my sponsor. My
Yeah.
company funds it. And I'm like,
I think Izzy's going to that because we're going to be in Washington, D.C. So I'm
Yeah.
not going to be able to go. But we have the bridge bed housing. We have aid and assist community restoration, which is solely out of behavioral health systems in all 3 counties. And then the rest, you can find the numbers on our website,
Perfect.
which is transcending-hope.com.
we'll put the link on
it'll
our
be in the link.
website.
Yeah.
Look at this is where Peter, look at our website again. Like our website is so flawless because Peter, I want you to be proud of me. From last night to today, I did link up my Fred Meyer card.
Oh, sweet.
We just
That's
got
our latest program.
We
that
just got
Fred Meyer
approval for
Community
Fred
Rewards.
Meyer
Right on.
to get we don't care if it's 0.01 cents, right? Peter wrote his first grant, we're hoping. And then we got the bottle drop next. You know, like we're trying.
Yes.
Like we're trying. We're gonna get there.
Yeah.
Peter had cancer last year and I started a new job and we still didn't miss an episode.
Yeah.
How
was
crazy is
listening to
that?
I was listening to that. So my brother-in-law had cancer for the second time. My husband's sponsor has cancer right now. I feel you on that.
Yeah.
But look at him.
I know.
My man. He's really somebody else's man. He's my man. But yeah.
To follow up and just segue from the Fred Meyer thing, if people do want on the other side want to give or want to support,
they can also go to the website and there's a donate button on there that they can hit and donate to us. And we do community gardens for the houses. We do community building events.
So cool.
So I support a fella. He's one of my case managers and his business is called Mental Meats. And he catered our gala last year. And now we support him monetarily to feed out in the community. So once a month, he goes out and feeds 150 to 200 community members, and our participants help him.
That is awesome.
That is amazing. We're going to have our very first fundraiser this year. True Colors gave us the space.
Oh, we would love to be there.
We're going to do Christmas in July on July 25th.
Yes.
And it's like I said, you know those things? What are those things called, Peter? You know, the things where you stand up in it.
The roll up banners.
Yeah. So we have a poster board that Peter made. And
I spray glued it. But
seriously. And we're like, our wish list is so minimal, but we're going to get there.
I totally get it because that's how we started.
Yes.
We started with a bank account in the negative.
In the negative. Oh,
yeah.
In the negative.
We just got our look at, We just got our first bank account just a couple months ago, and Izzy sponsored us, and that enabled us to buy T-shirts.
Yes.
We don't, to get a T-shirt from us, you have to give us your life like you,
It's a small return.
A small
a big
return,
investment.
but we love it.
Yeah.
And I told Peter, we'll get there.
And you were just, when you were saying you don't realize necessarily what your impact is. And I think that's because for me and Julie, we're so passionate about it that we're like, we're going to do this no matter what. And
yeah, I've only paid into the podcast. I've never taken a dime.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And so
I was lucky. I got laid off.
When you're so passionate and then you do hear from a person that says, oh, your show touched me and it really helped me get through this dark time and saved me from using again.
I had a person tell me they were suicidal and the podcast saved them.
Yeah.
And I was on the fence because I'm working, right? And I'm tired. My job is not an easy job. And one day I talked to 52 people, and then I come here and I'm tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got a fresh hairdo today. But last night after working 9 to 6, I'm tired. But then I come here and my soul is so full that I think like, how could I not want to do this?
Exactly.
It's crazy.
No, it's so true. And when we were picking up that failing nonprofit, both me and my husband were working 2 jobs. That nonprofit couldn't offer us medical care. That nonprofit couldn't offer us anything.
That's what we do.
So we worked a second job until I jumped ship and said, okay, I'm going to develop this.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And I just believed it was going to happen. The process, but trusting in the process.
Yes.
We believe it too.
Yeah.
We believe we've had some obstacles and it's going to happen. And we're not even looking we want a stand-up poster board. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We wanted a canopy, one of those tarps.
Yes.
Because we're at the recovery walk. We're at Izzy's 5K run. Just luckily it's been good weather because we can't have our equipment get wet. We just got a tarp donated. I'm just saying, like, our wish list is like,
it happens just like that.
Yeah. It does.
Just like that.
And the same person that donated the tarp came up with the Fred Meyer card and the bottle drop. And she's really been a blessing to us. Hi, Jen. And, and just little things like that. And I feel like hard work does pay off, like I said.
Yeah.
And we've worked hard. It's coming.
Yeah. I planned our first gala. Who heard of a housing provider putting on a gala? And I planned our first gala, and we were able to bring in some funds that way too.
That's what we're going to do. And we're, like I said, we're going to have one of those stand-up things because I'm tired of carrying the poster board. It doesn't fit in the wagon. We have a wagon that we carry all the equipment in. And Peter carries it uphill. I carry it downhill. And the poster board doesn't quite fit right.
No, you guys need
we're going to get it. Don't worry. That's our goal this year. We have small goals.
I just want to be able to continue to do this. That's my whole goal. Now that we've proven to myself that I can do it, because there was a lot of questions in the beginning, and starting a nonprofit, I didn't know there was so much to it. It's not easy.
No.
All of the government requirements, state requirements, all of the stuff I hate to deal with.
And an episode every Friday. We have not missed a Friday in 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So
and we've
shown our dedication. We've heard from listeners that it's a positive message. It's a positive thing for the community. So I just want to keep doing it.
And the good thing about us, this is my favorite thing, right? If Pathfinders is having an event, we want to get it out. You're having an event, we want to get it out. Like,
September 13th is our gala.
Yes.
There you go. And then we put the links.
We have a golf event coming up too.
Where you can buy a hole.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah. And just, we want to get the word out, like in our newsletter.
Yeah.
Our goal is to spread recovery.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a limitation or a boundary.
No.
Which is really cool. And to the best of our knowledge, and we keep hearing this, we're the only one of us around here.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I see you guys everywhere.
Yeah. I love it.
You're doing great work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's because of people like you, though, that take the time on their Saturday to fucking come up. Yeah. It's great.
It is. and what you do outside of coming here to speak on the podcast with, gosh, I can't fathom how you've gone
from negative to positive.
Yeah, that's just amazing. And
it just shows who you are.
Call it a higher power,
through.
but there's something out there.
Something out there.
Yeah.
There's definitely something out there that makes it all possible and plops the right people
in your life. I have a question for you. The last question.
Yeah.
We ask everyone this.
Yeah.
And is there any final words you want to say to somebody or about whatever? Is there anything you want to say to possibly some woman struggling out there, some person struggling?
I think the only thing in hindsight is what I had to remember was that my feelings weren't going to kill me and the future wasn't here yet.
Ooh.
Because if we don't remember that there is a future, we think that's all there is when there's so much more. That's
yet to be disclosed.
That's
yeah.
to be disclosed.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Don't stop before the miracle happens.
That's
good
the truth.
Advice.
That is the truth.
I remember in my darkest days, and I was just like, I was really at that point just wanting to drink to die. I was like, I hope I don't wake up from this. So
Yes.
those were the thoughts that were going through my head.
Yes.
And selfish because it was only me. Nobody else is being affected by this. Right? You said yourself, I had the same belief and how wrong I was.
Yeah. I thought I was going to be a billionaire. No, I don't know. It's crazy.
Well, you are.
I am.
Sense.
Can I tell
In
you?
recovery, you're a billionaire.
I say this because I went through CRM training, right?
Capital.
Just because of the podcast. I wanted to learn. And I was off work. So I made the most of that time. I got my CRM, my PSS. I wanted initials behind my name. And then I got my CADCR, but I didn't, but then I got a job. But being laid off was the best thing that happened to me because I had a severance package and time to spend with Peter. But I believe when it comes to recovery capital, no one. I'm a billionaire.
Yes.
Like, I believe I can weather any tsunami,
Yes.
anything, because I have,
Yes.
like you.
Yeah.
And I don't really have people in my life that aren't part of my recovery capital. I'm like, I stick around long enough. That happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lifelong relationships.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Esmeralda, Izzy.
Yeah.
We love Izzy.
And he's going to listen to this episode for sure.
You know what he says to me? Don't talk about me so much. And I said, please, you can't tell me what to do. And he should know that by now. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
being
having
here.
me.
This was awesome. This was really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Appreciate
me
your
too.
time and being so open and heartfelt with your story. That means everything, and it will touch somebody out there for sure.
I
promise.
so.
At least.
Oh, it will.
Probably multiple. Yeah.
I'll get
Thanks
feedback
again.
on it as soon as it drops. I have a bunch of people be like, oh my God. And this one listener, she knows who she is. She got bit by a dog, and I said, I wish her a speedy recovery, right? She sends me hearts. Thank you. Like, so it's good. People do listen. Yeah. Thank you. This is Julie.
This is Peter.
This is Deena.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. And that's a wrap on today's episode. Thanks to each and every one of you for lending us your ears and hearts. Your engagement is what fuels our passion and keeps this podcast thriving.
We cherish the moments we share here and hope they resonate with you, whether you're on a daily commute, at the gym, or just taking a moment for yourself.
Make sure to head over to our website at realrecoverypodcast.com. While you're there, subscribe to our newsletter for the latest insights and uplifting stories from our community delivered straight to your inbox.
Click that subscribe button on your favorite podcast player too, so you can keep up with every new episode. It's your support that keeps our conversation alive and meaningful.
And if our stories have touched you, consider using the donate button on our site. Your contributions, no matter the size, are deeply appreciated. They help us continue our mission of sharing hope and healing.
Join us beyond the podcast and follow our journey on social media. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, and on X, formerly known as Twitter. All the links are on our site. so you can stay connected and be a part of the Real Recovery community every day.
Your likes, shares, and comments not only spread the message of recovery, but also remind us that we're all in this together.
So until we meet again, remember that recovery is a journey, not a destination, and we'll be here to accompany you every step of the way to recovery, real recovery.
Thanks for listening.